How do you become a thought leader in your industry? Most people think they already know the answer. They think thought leaders are simply the most famous people in their space, the people with the biggest audience, the most views or followers or the most subscribers. And if that were true, then somebody already beat you to it and there's no hope for you. Or others think, once I look like a thought leader, I can just run ads and I'll succeed. Nope, that's a terrible idea and a waste of money. Thought leadership is far more strategic than most people realize. In this episode, you'll learn what separates a true thought leader from everyone else in their industry. You'll learn how to evaluate the competition that you're actually up against and how to identify opportunities that most experts never see. By the end of this episode, you'll have a much clearer picture of what it really takes to become the recognized authority in your space and how to climb above your competition with smart strategy. Let's dive right in. So I'm going to list a lot. You might want to take some notes, and this is going to be very tactical. So the first thing that you need to do is to become a level 3 expert. Okay, a level 1 expert is somebody who has all the knowledge. They can talk the talk. They're academic, right? They might be a teacher or an educator like a professor, okay? A level 2 expert is somebody who's gone out and applied that knowledge. So now they have wisdom, but they've actually achieved success. So they've taken that knowledge, applied it, and succeeded. Now, a lot of people fail when they try to apply it. So somebody who's a level 2 expert figured out how to navigate, how to pick themselves up every time they failed and kept going until they found success. But to be a thought leader, you need to have level 3 expertise, and that's you know how to help somebody else go from point A and go to point B. That point B is success, and you've been able to take them by the hand and lead them to success, because they're going to have different challenges. They have different upbringings, they have different mindsets, they have different strengths and weaknesses. So helping somebody else succeed in your industry, that's what makes you a level 3 expert. Okay, moving on quickly, there are 3 parts to thought leadership personal branding, and you have to do all 3 parts. A lot of people do 1 part, or sometimes it's rare, but you'll find people that have done 2 parts, but still they won't get the results of being a thought leader. You have to do all 3 parts. So part 1 is your image. Okay, your image is important. That includes your logo, your website, your headshots, your branding and style guide. You've got to look the part, right? People do judge a book by its cover. And when they do discover you, you need to look like a thought leader. Okay, so part 1 is thought leadership image. It's important. Part 2 is thought leadership messaging. Okay, you've got to have crystal clarity in the words that you speak and everything that you do on your website, your elevator pitch, when you're networking with somebody and they ask you, what do you do? When people visit your website for the first time, what do your headlines say? What does your profile say when somebody looks at your profile on LinkedIn? Do not talk about your system. Don't talk about your model or the steps that you take, what's unique about you and how you go about things. Those things are not a part of your thought leader messaging. All those things are critical in helping you get a result, but it's the result that needs to go in your messaging. You need to talk about the problem that you solve, the solution that you provide, right? And specifically, who do you help with this? Who has that problem that you solve? Who experiences that transformation when they get that solution? So your thought leader messaging is having crystal clarity and being able to put it into words very, very easily of exactly who you help and what you help them with. Okay, I love it when you can talk about a transformation, because if people start at point A and they finish at point B, they notice a difference. There's like a before and after photo or image, right? And can you get testimonials of what that transformation looked like? They would say, man, I was here, I was experiencing this, and now I'm here, and this is what I'm experiencing. You need to figure out how to package all of that into your thought leadership messaging. Okay, so those are both really good, but businesses that have those first 2 parts are still not going to be thought leaders. You need the 3rd part, which is thought leader positioning. Now, just so there's no confusion, a lot of people will use the word positioning talking about the image. Okay, but I separate them. Positioning to me isn't how you look. but it's where you're found. Where do people find you? When people are searching, like people that have never heard of you before, they go searching online in Google, YouTube, ChatGPT. Are you positioned everywhere for your topic? Everywhere in your specific category, right? So people that have never heard of you before, they're searching online. Do they find you at the top everywhere in your category? That's thought leadership positioning. And if you've got all three of those parts, then you can become a thought leader. Okay, with that understanding in mind, think about your industry. Think about your specific niche in that industry. Who are the thought leaders currently owning that space? Who are your competitors? The people at the top. Like if you do searches right now in your category, who do you find? Do these people intimidate you, or do you feel concerned that you're not going to be able to compete? Do you worry that people are going to find them instead of you? Okay, well, there's actually a way that you can do a competitive analysis and see if they're as untouchable as you might think they are. I'd like to show you an example because it's a big one. This guy is a phenomenal thought leader, and a lot of people in this space, it's leadership, the example I'm going to show you. So a lot of people in the leadership space are intimidated by this guy, and they think that they will never be able to compete. But when I pull back the curtains and I show you what the competitive landscape looks like, you'll realize, oh wow, I could own that one. I could own that one too. I could own that category too. Here's the first example, and we're talking about the legend, Mr. Simon Sinek. If we type in leadership style, you find Simon ranking right at the top. We find another legend, Brian Tracy, ranking right at the top. So remember this category, leadership style. Okay, what about this one? Motivate team. Oh man, Simon is ranking at the top of this one too. Okay, what about leadership development? Oh, Simon's got this one in the bag as well. All right, now we're going to look at the competitive landscape, and let's start with this first one, leadership style. Okay, so all of these questions, I know this might look overwhelming to you, but when you understand what we're looking at, it becomes pretty simple, okay? On the left, I've got all these questions. I think 30 or so different questions that have leadership style in them. There's a lot of specific questions, and each of these colorful columns represents a different YouTube channel. Now, when I pull reports like this, I actually look at the top 50 strongest YouTube channels on this subject. So on leadership style, you'll see Simon Sinek is the strongest channel for it. You'll see a mixture of yeses, nos, top 20s, and top 50s. So a yes means top 3. If you search for this question, what type of leadership style did Nelson Mandela have? Simon Sinek has a video ranking in the top 3, which I call the top. Okay, if you had to scroll down, you see a lot that say top 20. That means you're not in the top 3, but you have to scroll down to find Simon's video somewhere in the top 20, or a top 50, you have to scroll down even further, or if it says no, Simon does not have a video ranking in the top 50. So if Simon Sinek is the strongest YouTube channel on leadership style, do you notice anything? Do you notice how many no's there are and how many top 20s and top 50s there are? The strongest channel on leadership style only has 3 yeses. He only has 3 yeses. So you could right now film videos answering some of these other questions, these glaring gaps in this category, and you could outrank Simon Sinek very quickly. Let's look at leadership development. Now, what do you see very quickly? This one's a little bit more competitive, right? But there's still gaps. There's still a way in. You could start turning your no's to yeses and start to build momentum. So when you go after the more competitive ones, you'll have a chance. You'll already have momentum. I believe someone could outrank Simon Sinek in this category and own it for years and years and years. What about leadership program? I thought this one would be way more competitive, but this one is wide open. You'll notice Simon Sinek is the 3rd strongest channel here, but even the 2 channels stronger than Simon, man, this is wide open. If you have a leadership program, why don't you own this branch? If you're serious about becoming the dominant thought leader in your industry, then the next step is to see this process in action. In this episode, you've learned the concept. In my Thought Leader Dominance webinar, I'll show you exactly how it works. You can register for free and attend live at theleafstrategy.com. You'll see real examples. You'll learn how to evaluate your competition. you'll discover how to identify categories that are ownable and profitable. And you'll see the specific steps that allow an expert to go from being relatively unknown to being the recognized authority in their space. Most importantly, you'll leave knowing exactly what to do next. I'll see you there.